Hi everyone, it's Miss Gaede, and I'm going to take you through the math component for your first project. What you're going to do is you're going to create a flag as a group. So your flag is going to be created in Google Draw, but you're going to use Geogebra to measure and calculate angles and lengths of sides. And then once you have your image, you're going to copy it into your Google Drawing that you're sharing with the rest of your group members. So you will need to communicate a little bit about the design of it, and then individually you will do different calculations, and then you will piece everything together. So in the past, we've had students do this by hand, which unfortunately we can't do this year. You're going to do everything digitally, but here's an example of a flag that was done last year. You'll be designing a flag that represents your group. So you want to think about what images and colors represent your particular god or goddess and your values as a society that you had on your fishbone. So you want to make sure that your flag is a reflection of your group. What do you need to complete for the flag? So there's a couple different things. The first part has to do with finding the perimeter area of a shape that you choose. And then the second part is demonstrating all the different angle relationships. So during one of your at-home lessons, you went through these different angle relationships, and some of the groups got a handout to fill in a sheet, and I believe there's a couple groups that had to write these by hand. But everybody should have this information. So for the 2D figures, you want to make sure that your flag includes 3 to 4, depending on the number of students in the group. So if you have 3 students, you'll only have 3 2D shapes. If you have 4 students, you will have 4. Each student will draw and use a different 2D figure. So if one student selects a trapezoid, none of the other group members can choose a trapezoid. They have to do a rectangle, square, triangle, circle, any of the other 2D figures that you're familiar with. And then whichever shape you pick, you're going to find the area and perimeter of that shape, and you're going to show your work. And then the second part were the angle relationships. There are 10 in total, and they all have to be covered. So depending on how big your group is, you're going to be doing 2 to 4 of these and showing your work. All the work is going to be shown on this sheet here that everybody is going to get, and I'll explain this information in a second. So you're going to create these images in Geogebra. So you want to go to geogebra.org, and I do have these instructions on the last slide, so you can go through them afterwards if I'm going a little bit too fast. So you want to go to that website first. You want to look for these 9 little squares in the top right hand corner. You're going to select that. And then you're going to choose geometry, I believe. Nope, you're going to choose GeoGebra Classic. And then once it's opened up, there's a box on the right-hand side that opens up. You're going to select geometry. And then if you would like a grid in the background, you can just, I just right-clicked, and then I'm choosing grid. And now you've got a nice grid in the background to work with. All right, so what you want to do now is you can draw an image, so you can just select this little icon here and choose polygon, and if you click again, and then connect it at the end, I've just created a nice triangle. And if you want to maybe have an image that you found on the internet that you want to use, you're going to select this box here, and then you're going to select image. If you want to add text, that would be the same box, but I'm going to click image, and I'm going to choose file, and I have this hammer image that I'd like to use. So I'm putting that, and this D and E allows you to rotate it. So I just changed it. I want to make it a little bit bigger, and I'm going to focus on that, and I can also click the actual image and just move it to where I want it. I'm going to focus on this trapezoid here. See if I can make it a bit bigger for you guys. I'm just going to slide it down. All right, so I want to find the perimeter and the area of this trapezoid. And this program is really awesome. It will actually calculate it all for you. All it needs to know is where these points are, the key points. So the four corners of that trapezoid. And so I'm going to select this button here and I'm going to select point. And so I'm labeling this corner as point F, this corner, that corner, and this corner. So I've labeled my four corners, and now the program can calculate the length of each of those sides. The other thing I want to label too is I know I have to find the area, and to find the area of a trapezoid, I need the length of F to G. To that, I'm going to add the length of I to H, and then I'm going to add those together, divide by 2, and then that gets multiplied by the height of the trapezoid. So in order to find the height, I need to have, draw a line from I that makes a 90-degree angle and ends up in this area up here. So I'm just going to estimate that it's going to be right there. So I also want the computer or this program to find the length of I to J for me. So now I'm going to click the little arrow over here, and I'm going to, actually I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, all right, I actually need to select this little box here because that will calculate the angle for me. So I'm going to click on that, and actually I'm not going to do that, sorry. I don't want the angle quite yet. What I want is the distance. That's what I'm looking for. So the distance is a little further down. That's this option right here. So I'm going to click on that, and I want the distance from F to G, and see how it just came up there, right? It calculated for me. It's 4.2 centimeters. The units in here are centimeters. And the length from G to H, and then let's do H to I, and then I to F. All right, so those are my four lengths, and I can move these boxes around to different locations so that it's where I want it to be and that it makes my image look nice. And then the other thing I'm going to do since I'm here is I'm going to calculate the distance from I to J. So the same method, centimeters, and then I'm clicking I, and then I'm clicking J. Okay, so the distance from I to J is 3.96 centimeters. So now I have all the measurements that I want for that image. I'm going to take a screenshot. I'm just using this little program that I have on my computer. You guys can use the 3-key combination on your Chromebook to take a screenshot of what you want. So I've taken a nice picture here. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm putting it into my document that I'm handing in. And you can see I've already done that here. And I'm going to show my work for perimeter and area, right? And I have all the measurements that I need. So make sure that when you're showing your work for perimeter that you've got the equation, right? I'm calculating C to D, D to G, G to E, and then E to C for the perimeter. I'm showing all my steps. I've got the correct units, and same for area. Show the formula, show all the steps, and then you've got centimeters squared for the area. In the first box here, I have my name and the name of the shape, trapezoid, okay, just like the title says. So that's for the first part. For the second part, we go back in there. You want to demonstrate your knowledge of the angle theorem. So I have a triangle drawn here already. So what I was thinking about doing is demonstrating the angle sum triangle theorem, okay, which says that the sum of the three angles inside a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So I've already done this ahead of time, but I will show you how to do it in here. So if you select angle, all right, and then you click on A, and then B, and then C, it actually measured the outside angle, but if I click inside the triangle, it does the inside ones as well. So now I can select the outside one. Oh, I gotta click the little arrow key first. If I select the outside one, I can delete it so that it's gone. I don't want it. And I can move this inside so it's a little bit more legible. Okay, and if you add up these three angles, they will add up to 180 degrees, right? Then I would take a screenshot of my triangle, and I would put it into my handout that I have here. And I would also write my name here, okay, to show that this was my work. All right, so that's that. Once you've looked after your shape, you've done the calculations, then what you want to do is you want to take that shape I'm just going to copy it again, the part that I want. I want the whole thing because I'm going to use the whole thing in my Google Drawing, right? So I've just copied it and I'm going to paste it in here and I can decide where I want to put it. So this Google Draw you're sharing with your group. The rest of the parts you're doing on your own, right? So you are entering the information on the Google Drawing and you're entering the information onto this sharing doc as well. Okay, but when you're in GeoGebra, you have your own screen that you are working from. All right, I think that's everything. Looking forward to seeing your amazing flags. Hopefully this is a good start. The other thing I wanted to mention too is when you're in GeoGebra, if you want to create your own account, then you'll be able to save your work. And also, if you're trying to add photos from your Google Drive, the only way to do that is if you have an account, I believe. I could be wrong, but that is what I've read. Okay, so unless like if you don't have a Google, if you don't create your own account and you want to add images, then you're gonna have to do it from a Flash, and you might not have one of those. So I would create an account before I do that. All right, good luck, and let me know if you need some help.